We are proceeding with the fifth tablet of Enki to analyze it. Now, what we are doing here is to emphasize what we have already found out about the fleshly nature. The fleshly nature of the people from Nibiru, the ones who have been worshipped for a long time by people, especially on the east side of the continent, that is the continent of Asia. And also we are going to discover new things if these people are acting like true gods or false gods. That is basically now what we are going to tackle on this fifth tablet. Thank you. Now, I'm going to go through a list of the personalities we are going to deal with in this session of the tablet, and it includes Nima. Nima is half sister to Ea and Enlil. Remember, Ea is the one who became Enki, meaning the king of the earth, when he came to earth. Now, Nima was a medical officer of health trained in Nibiru, very brilliant lady. She was highly qualified. But when it came to sexual habits, she was extremely erratic lady. She could even go against the decrees of the father, the king. Then we have the Ninuta. The Ninuta is the son of Enlil and the Nima. Nima, you know, is the sister. Now, when they ignored the decree of this, the decree of their father, the king Anu, they had a crush on each other, Enlil and the Nima, and then they went ahead and they had a son together. This son is the Ninuta. It's called Ninuta. He was born out of wedlock. Then we have Sud. Sud is one of the Ninma Circle, or trained helpers, nurses or nurses. They were trained in health matters and medicine, so that they could help in emergencies and any dispensing of medication. Now, Sud was called Ninlil after she was exposed by a rapist husband. So, and God raped her. And then that God later on married her. Nana. Nana is the firstborn of Sud. This boy was born out of rape by God Enlil. This was the first Anunnaki to be born on Earth. Nanar, the first Anunnaki. A boy out of rape, raped by God Enlil, was the first to be born here on Earth. Then Nugar. Nugar has always been a pilot. Damkina. Damkina is Ea's wife. Now, she was given the title Ninki, or Lady of the Earth, when she came to join the husband here on Earth. At the first, Ea came, then later afterwards, Damkina came to join the husband Ea here on this Earth. She came from Nibiru. She came with their son. Marduk. Marduk is very famous in the historical circles and esoteric circles too. Marduk is Ea's son with Damkina. They had this son in Nibiru. They were married, you know. So Ea and Damkina had a son called Marduk. So both him and the mother, Damkina, are the ones who later joined their father, his father, Ea or Enki, here on earth. Now, Ninrna, Ninra. Ninra was Ea's daughter with his sister Ninma, the medical officer. Conceived and born here on earth. So both of them again, when when the Ninma came on earth to join this team on earth, the Ea's team. Now they had sex with each other. Ea and Ninma, they had this daughter called Ninruna. So remember, Ea has a wife back there in Nibiru. And here again, he is committing adultery. Or rather fornication, rather. Let's say that. With the sister, Nimma. So they had this daughter, Ninra, conceived and born here on earth. Ninki and Ninki, Ninki is the, Damkina became Ninki. That was given the title Ninki when she joined the husband here on earth. Ninki means the lady of the earth. So she and Ea's concubines, their total sons, that is a son, sons and the Ea's concubine son, or the husband's concubine sons, are Marduk, Nagar, Nibiru, Ninagar, Ningizida, Dumuz. Dumuz was the youngest. Then Karkar. Karkar was Enlil's gate guardian. When Enlil and the rebels, the workers rebelled one time, and they surrounded his home or his abode. They wanted to enter the compound and kill him there. But Karkar, the gatekeeper or the guardian, was very sharp. He was he is the one who locked the gate so they could not enter. That time, this god, Enlil, was asleep. He couldn't even, he was not even aware what was happening. But Karkar saved him that way by locking the gate. The rebels out. Then we have Nusku. Nusku is Enlil's vizier or minister of some sort. Remember, Enlil was one of the kings there, a god. Now, Nusku was one of those people also who saved this god when Enlil, when he was sleeping, as he was being surrounded by rebels. He is the one who woke him up from sleep. He told him, God, wake up, God. We are surrounded by people who want to kill you. So his minister, luckily he was there with him. His minister is Nusku. Then we have Alargar, Abgal, Nugal. These are pilots who later returned back to Nibiru. They said, no, I can't stay here. This is not my place. The earth is rotating too much. I'm feeling too fast. I'm feeling too dizzy. I can't, I'm very uncomfortable. So I better go back to my place up there in Nibiru. It's better than here. The next two slides is basically about decision making process. Do these people think in a more advanced manner than us? Is it the same systematic way of decision making? Or what of the implementation of the decision which we make? Is it something supernatural, or is it just the way we do things? So Nima entourage, the entourage, the people she came with from Nibiru, they are alive on Earth, and then Enlil had built a quay to walk on after landing on the sea instead of using the boats. Yeah, remember when the king was coming down, he used boats, but before that, those guys were just swimming. You get into the chariot runs in the water, and then the ones from the chariot, they swim. They just swim to the drying ground. Now, so from swimming on the water to drying ground, then to boats, and now this time at least they have built a quay. So once they get into the chariot lands in the water to just simply get into the quay, and then they walk to the straight to dry land. They don't need to swim this time. Now, so what did they use? They used materials, wood. They cut the wood and they built, the poles, and then they used them to build a quay. Yeah. Now, they unloaded their consignment, and their consignments included the rocket ships to load gold to transit to Mars, after when it would be loaded to celestial chariots to take it to Nibiru, and then skyships to use for the transportation within the Earth. The tools also were unloaded, which were specialized to dig tunnels to get to the gold, and also for crushing ores into transportable debris. So you can see even here the way we go to the our station, the station up there in the orbit. So, or rather we call it International Space Station. We use the rocket ships. Just send a rocket there with the consignment, it goes to send things there. So this one, also they used these ones, they unloaded, they were ordered from Mars to ship gold from here. And so they built the stations from Mars to every planet like that. And then they built also, basically at the first they built, they made Mars or Laum the base, in which now they could just load into a celestial chariot and they will go straight to Nibiru. So these rocket ships, they would get be packed with the gold ores, and then they will be shipped to Mars. And then after when they get to Mars, they will be unloaded and they packed in the celestial chariot. The celestial chariot will send the consignment of gold ores to Nibiru. Now, but within here, from place to place, that is from this mining ground to another mining ground, or from this town to another town, or from this place to go to an adventure, to do some adventures or to find some things within the Earth itself, they used sky ships. So use sky ships within the transportation within the Earth. There were no roads and such things, so and to use sky ships. And so the sky ships, so when they mine the gold ores, they put in the sky ships. Then the sky ships will bring them to the station, like here in Eridu station. When they take them there, then they load them into the rocket ships, and then from the rocket ships to Mars, and from Mars with the celestial chariot to Nibiru. Yeah. So they came with all these specialized instruments, which are like also to crush the gold into small debris, gold ores, into small transportable debris. Because before they used to mine, which is like silt from the water. Now this is the ground where they are to get gold within the ores, gold ores. and so they have to crush them into small pieces. So they brought the machinery for that purpose, for crushing it into small pieces, which would be loaded into the sky ships and the rest of the journey. She also brought the seeds. Nima came also with the seeds to plant for fruits, you know, to harvest fruits to make elixir. You know, these elixirs, they're going to be used for medicines, and they also to, you know, to brighten the mood, which means these are psychedelics. It's something that to make psychedelics or cough expectorants and something like that. You know, elixirs for the medicines, and also to brighten the mood, to feel that to make, you know, it is a psychedelic to make you feel motivated to do certain activities. When you get too tired, you can't go on. You get some psychedelic. This elixir, you take it and you feel, oh, you know, it's like cannabis sativa. Cannabis sativa, you smoke the cannabis, but this other people take alcohol. But problem with alcohol is a secondary depressant, so it will not make you active for a long time. It's for a short while. Then when the depression stage takes in, then you can't work anymore. But now you can see now this elixir is like cannabis, you know. Cannabis smoke, but this one is an elixir. You drink and it gives you some motivation to move on, yeah. So sincerely, these activities, the process and decision making, do they reflect ungodly way of thinking? Yeah, is it or humanly way of thinking? It is not basically work of man to cut wood, make a way, to get machines to crush the gold ores, to dig on the ground. Is this the work of God? So you see, basically these guys are just humans they're just beings who are from another planet, but they have certain body components which we don't have. Like the other time we saw that their body is poisonous. They can kill somebody. If you eat them, you can die. So their standard of psychomotor functions or application of whatever during the decision making process, the application of what you think is basically the same with us. Nothing about in God there. So our true God, what does he say himself in the Bible, in Isaiah 55 8 to 9? It says, for my thoughts, the great Almighty says, my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, says the Lord. Now these guys, their ways are our ways. This is how we do things. But the Lord says, no. With the Almighty God, he says, your ways are not my ways. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. So confirms he is different, is the true God, he is the creator of everything. He created us, he created people in Nibiru, he created the angels, he created everybody, everyone, and everything. Now, in the next slides, we are going to figure out where this place really is. You know, some places, you know, like this Abzu, you know, the Abzu, this place where gold mining is, you know, the Abzu gold mining area. And also, we are going to find the gods and building houses or palaces for them and abodes to stay, to sleep, eat, cook, and all that. These gods of Nibiru. Now, so in the tablet we read, a rich land it was, bursting with riches, perfect in fullness, mighty rivers rushed across the region. Then great waters there rapidly flowed. And abode by the flowing waters, Enki for himself established. In other words, Enki for himself he established an abode on this place. To the midst of Abzu, to a place of pure waters, Enki betook himself an abode with a deep blue stone. In other words, this stone is called lapis lazuli. So he adored his compound, his houses with this stone, the lapis lazuli. It is that blue stone, you know, blue, shiny, nice, you know, that is lapis lazuli. That's what he used really to make his compound bluish, shiny, you know, like that. Adoring it with that stone, every part of the compound, the house, the inside, and it was beautiful. You know, just notice that the gods are now making abodes for themselves. They are making houses to live in. But Yah cannot fit in a house, can he? Because he says the earth is only his footstool. So you can see there's a difference between Yah and these guys from Nibiru, these gods of Nibiru. Yah cannot, the earth alone, he says it is my footstool. So when he is setting his feet on this earth, so and these guys are just basically making, you know, decorating their houses here on earth. So how can they be God? It is different. Listen to the Bible. To the Bible. You see. Yes. The Bible says in Isaiah 66 verse 1, thus says the Lord, heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. What is the house which you would build for me? And what is the place of my rest? All these things my hand, everything my hand has made. And so all these things are mine. They are mine. The earth, the gold, the heavens, or planets, they are all mine, says the Lord, says Yah, the Almighty God. But this is the man to whom I will look. This is the person that I want myself. God says that. Yah says that. He is looking for he that is humble and contrite in spirit and trembles at my word. And Jeremiah says, Jeremiahu, he says in 23 verse 23 to 24, am I and God at hand? Says Yah is asking, am I and God at hand, says the Lord, and not and God afar off? Can a man hide himself in secret places so that I cannot see him? Where can you hide so that I can't see you? In the mountains or where? In the valleys and the ground? Where am I not? Where am I missing? Says the Lord. Do I not feel heaven and earth? Everywhere? Do I not feel everywhere? So you can see there's a difference. These people are not God. Yah is talking for himself. He is saying, I am he and no one else. It's me up in the heavens and here and below. I am the one and no one else. These are other things, they don't belong to me. I created all of them. So why do you have to compare me and them? So if we have to do some deductions, you know, there's some deduction from what we have read. And basically it is from the sky, the region is heart-shaped. You know, the region of where they found gold is heart-shaped, that region. It is crossed over with the rivers. It's, you know, imagine of a place, heart-shaped, that here region, and it's crossed with the very many rivers. You know, like Amazon, like India. It is rich in the lapis lazuli, that blue stone. It's rich in that stone. Its vicinity has tall trees and steepies. We have steepies. You know, South Africa has steepies. It has large areas of steepy. It's not, but it's not famous for lapis lazuli, because that part of Africa looks like heart-shaped, but it's not as much a heart-shaped as India or as South America. But this gentleman, when he was describing, he didn't say that the Abzu is in across continents. He said at the far end of the sea, the southern part of the sea. And so basically we can expect it's within the sites of Eredo, that region of Indian Ocean. Yeah. So South Africa, the difference, it has steepies, it has trees, but most of it is steepies, and it's not famous for lapis lazuli. The northern part of India has all these rivers, including the lapis lazuli and the, Lazasdan steepies. Lazasdan steepies is around 150 square kilometers. Is very huge, it's very large in India. Where these gods reached and touched, these places or anything they reached and touched, they became holy to the people afterwards. And there is, if you go to India, there is a plethora of worshiping things in India, including the rivers. Some are so holy, like Indus, Ganges, and such. Some trees, very many trees are holy. There are caves there which are so holy because simply these gods, Nibiru gods, they go there, they visit, they go, they point at it, they become something to worship, something holy, So those people, so you just find that it is really classic of where those people are. The description of this place is more or less skewed towards the India side, those side, not South Africa, because South Africa now, we don't have so much of these worships of rivers and such. But if you want really to find where there is this godly worships and such things, or attaching holiness to inanimate things, it's go to India, and that's where you find. And the statues of these gods, all those things, there are plenty there. So where these people, the Nibirians, were, they touched, they pointed, the people regarded those places as holy, and up to today, many of those things are being worshipped. They are regarded as holy. You are bathing in the river because it is holy. You are going to the caves because it's holy. You go and find the priests in the priests. They are in a cave. They are protecting or a tree because because it is holy. Now, it's all skewed. It's all skewed towards Indian side, not African side. Though South Africa is famous for gold today, India, Kolan gold field alone produced nearly 1 million kilograms of gold for 120 years. That is Kolan gold field alone. Today, they have other fields, very many. So India, for centuries, they have been mining gold. And India is a haven on gold. You want to buy gold? Go to India. Their women, beads, and everywhere is all India. Their business trade India. Their ornaments, everything is gold. Gold everywhere. Their dresses are decorated with gold. So this, the gold tradition, you want to see it, that they will tell you a history of gold, go to India, not to South Africa. So all the favor in the description of this place of Abzu, it favors Indian side. It can be Pakistan because it was part of India and all those areas, but it has to be those areas of India. Well, since Nibiru people, they were gods themselves, how could they worship anybody? So, on the seventh day when they were supposed to rest, there was some things they were doing in the name of rest, you know. Maybe like the way you go, you can give food to the cow or something like that. But let's say an example of what they did on the seventh day. There was a video telecast from their king Anu from Nibiru. Their king, and to talk with all of them is in Nibiru, and now these ones are stationed here on Earth, and there was a video telecast on, and that this one was done on the seventh day rest day, so that it would motivate these people, you know, to manufacture gold, mine gold, manufacture gold, and repair the environment, the atmosphere for Nibiru, because it was damaged. They needed gold to repair it. So in tablets we read they paraded to be addressed by King Anu of Nibiru from Nibiru. 300 in mass, you know, the ones in mass, you know, you are told they are called Gigi. Anyway, 300 in mass and 600 on Earth. So remember, in Mars is a station where the rocket ships will send the consignment. So there was a station there. It had 300 people, Nibiru people, and here on Earth there was 600, because basically here it was the hand river was here. There was a lot of hand river, so they needed around 600 people. And here, you know, it is more livable. In Mars, Lamu, there was water, but the air was not sufficient, you know. So this is the Andres system. He addressed them. He calls them heroes of Nibiru. You are our saviors. The fate of all is in your hands. Your success shall for eternity be recorded. By glorious names you shall be called. Those on earth shall be called Anunnaki, and those who from it, which means those who from heaven on earth came. That's what Anunnaki means. Those who from heaven to earth came. Now, those on Lahumu or Mars will be known as Igigi. Igigi. And which means those who observe and see, they shall be. Now, these people, they really believe they are gods. Their faith is unto themselves, and their reward is being recorded as hero, being a hero in their annals. Our activity on the seventh day ourselves is to worship air. That is the difference. So you can see we never copied from them. In the Bible, seventh day we worship air. To them is their own activity, their own things. It's a rest day, but they spend the day differently from us. So like in the Bible, you read in Luke 4 verse 16, and as his custom was, that is Yeshua, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and he stood up to read. See, Yeshua, the Son of the Almighty Yah, on the seventh day, he went to the synagogue to praise and glorify Yah and teaching good news of salvation to the people. It's not about in gold. Liberians, they are giving themselves rewards of heroism, but they Yeshua want life for the people, because people are created by Yah, God himself. Nibirus are not concerned because they have nothing to do with the creation. They die like us. You know, they may take a longer time to live, but they eventually they just die. Yeah, they labor like us. They think like us. They go to the toilet and everything. So you can see, who would you trust? Would you trust Christ, or would you trust the Nibiru people, Nibiru gods? Now, as you already know now, is that the gods must live in a certain house. They must build a house to live in and to sleep in at night and to rest during the daytime when they want to, and to entertain people, his friends, and all that. So Enlil built his headquarters in Russia, you know, in those areas of Mesopotamia, away from Eridu, quite north of Eridu, or the banks of Burano. Burano, I guess it is Euphrates River. You know, it's Euphrates, Burano. It means a river of deep waters. Now, he builds a city called Lagash, and between them he builds Shurubak. Shurubak, he built it as a having city for Ninma, the sister and doctor, you know, and as her medical center for Ninma. So Shurubak was a medical center too. He also builds Nibiru. You find in the map, basically it is usually written as Nippur. In these days the map is Nippur, but Nibiru you can still find it in the old maps. But the new maps is Nippur, Nippur. Now this place is Nibiru means arts crossing place. It is a mission command center. In beyond it as a mission command center, a store for record, past and present, and also it was also served as a center for communication and as an observatory for entire Earth. So when you are there, you could see entire globe of the Earth. Whatever you want to see, you just magnify it with your things, with your machines, with your binoculars, with those whatever, and then you're able to see, to view any place on the earth, to communicate with your people and all that. So it was a center for communication, observatory for entire earth, and also Nibiru. So from here on earth, this station, from that station here, you could that command center, the Nibiru, you could also talk or communicate with the people in Nibiru and also other planets. You could communicate with the team in Mars. You could communicate with the team in Nibiru, and also because also Anu established other centers within other planets, you could also communicate with them. So basically, all the planets was basically it was under their mass. They could establish stations anywhere, and they established communication. That means they were very, very much advanced. Also, the most secret tablets, the secretive tablets, they were also stored here in Nibiru. You know, those ones which are very secretive for the government. So in the map you'll find there is Lagash is there, Lasha is there, obvious. Eridu is there, and the Nippur is also there. You also find there is Ur. Ur is important because that's where Abraham, you know, and his family. Abraham went from there, yeah, and he had to go from there when he find a lot of terrible worship there. You know, he was not happy with the worship of these gods, so he decided to move away from there and go to Haran. And go to Haran. So so basically it is, let's say it is a Terah. You know Terah is the father to Abraham. He moved from Ur to Haran with his sons. You know, Terah moved from Ur to Haran with his sons. And the sons were Abraham, Nahor, and Haran. You know, those three people. He moved with them, those boys, yeah, to Haran. The Nibiru people were so technologically advanced that Earthlings thought they were gods and worshipped them. So the observatory center which he built to to observe the planets, the stars, the communication network, and the meteorology as a meteorology department for the weather, to read the weather. These ones were established by Enel. And so the people therefore made him the god of the wind, the weather, the air, and the storms. Because he could read the weather, he could tell the weather and all that. Meteorological department. So because of that, he became the god of all wind, the air, and the storms. Yeah, and the Nibiruans, kings, or these gods, they were also kings. They enjoyed being worshipped as gods. They enjoyed that, and people made temples and statues for them. And now, fed up with false worship, Abraham left his people and the true God and blessed him. Although his father got them from Ur to Haran, now the father continued to make business by making statues, statues of those gods, and he gave people to worship, people from Nibiru. So Abraham even challenged Terah. Terah is his father. Yeah, he challenged Terah for making business selling the statue gods. Yeah, and so he was not happy. He had to leave because he had that conscience of true God, the true God to him, and so he had to leave his father and everybody and go to where he could stay alone without worshiping the false gods, the Nibiru people. Remember, these Nibiru gods, they ruled the people. Of course, they were the kings. They ruled everywhere, and they built palaces, and and they used skyships to travel. They made meetings with the people. They chatted with the people, etc. But Yahushua said you cannot sing God. You cannot sing God. So if you are seeing them, you cannot sing. They are not God, because Yahushua said you cannot sing God. In the Bible, John 6 verse 46 says, not that any man had seen the Father, save he which is of God, he had seen the Father. In other words, it's only Yahushua Christ himself who came from the Father. He is the only one who has seen him. No one else. Not in Nibiru, not in the king Anu there. No. You cannot see God. John 4:24 says, God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. So how happened? These people are carrying logs everywhere. They are meeting with the people. They are making houses to live. They are chatting. They are doing. They are sleeping with women. They are and having children. They are seeing one another. So how they are not spirit? They are people who are tangible. So they are not gods, man. Don't be cheated and don't be lied to. They are not gods at all. Now, what is there that these gods, Nibiru, the ones who have made rivers and the caves and the trees and be worshipped in those far east of India and many other places they visited, what was so good with them? What was there that you couldn't glorify? They were just simply technologically advanced. What else? They were also, in other side, they were also limited in knowledge. They were marrying their own sisters. How could people be so much educated, so much advanced, marry their own sisters? See, they fell short of glory. These people, they were immoral. They committed adultery, fornication. They raped others, and they also committed incest. And these are gods. They are doing that. What sort of people are these? They are just like animals. What's the difference between them and animals? The animals even are more behaved than them. So Enlil, Ea and Ninma, they were from the same father, who the father's name is Anu, king of Nibiru. Enlil had a son with Ninma, his sister. This son was called Ninurta. See, they got Ninurta out of incest. So we read from their tablets. They confess what was there openly. Ea, who is basically Enki, or the king of the earth, Ea, as Enki, then was named by Anu to espouse Ninma. So Anu the king said Ninma should marry Enki or Ea. That's the king also. Tell them to commit incest. Now, Ninma of Enlil, by him she was seduced. So the brother of Ea instead seduced Ninma, and into her womb his seed he poured. So he has committed incest. Also Enlil committed incest to the sister. So by this deed we find the disobedience. They disobeyed their father. Ninma disobeyed the father. Enlil disobeyed the father, because they were not supposed to marry. Ninma was supposed to marry by the father. The father said, marry, you have to marry, they are supposed to marry Enki or Ea. But they decided to complete the Enlil and the Ninma. That is disobedience. So Anu was angered, and as a punishment to Ninma, he told her, you should never be married. Punishment, you will never be married. Now, let's see the case of rape. Sud was one of Ninma's sakaya or nurses, dressers. We used to call them dressers those days. Sud. She was one of Ninma's sakaya. Young lady. She was a young lady. She was raped by God Enlil. Enlil raped her. This is how we read from the tablets. Come, when he sees this Sud, coming from a bath, from a swim. They were swimming, and then he finds a nice lady when she was naked, when they were naked in the pool, and he admired her. So he was peeping. He was peeping on those small young ones when they were bathing. And so he decided, hey, I'm going to get that one. Is that on God? So he told her when she was coming from the pool to bath with the others, he separated her from the others. He told them, come, partake with me in the elixir of Nibiru's fruit that can grow here. So he said, Sud Into Enlil's abode she entered. The elixir in a cup to her Enlil presented. So she got elixir, Enlil gave her the elixir, What we say the elixir is for, from those trees Nima came with from Nibiru, it is psychedelic. Just to make things nice and calm, like cannabis, like bang, cannabis sativa. So he gave her one of the drink, also in a cup. So they drank, Enlil drank too. To her, Enlil of intercourse was speaking. So he was talking about the intercourse with her as they were drinking. But this lad, he was very unwilling. Unwilling was the last. The last was unwilling. She tells him, my vagina is too little. It knows no copulation, no sexual intercourse. It is too little. Yeah. So she was very unwilling. Because this is a very huge man. Remember those people who are plucking others' genitals with their teeth? Because their jaws are very huge people, and this is a small ass. To Henry, she was saying. To her, Henry was kissing. Kissing was speaking. Now he proceeded now even to kiss her, but she was very unwilling. She was still unwilling. Unwilling was the last. She tells him, my lips are too small. They don't know any kissing. They know not kissing, To Enlil, she was telling him, my lips are too small. They're too tiny compared with yours. I'm still young. I'm still a small thing. Yeah. But Enlil was just not there. He was laughing. He laughed and he embraced her. He laughed and he kissed her. That is, she's trying to wriggle herself out of her, but he's too strong. He's surrounded her with caresses, but she's too small. She can't escape. So what happened eventually? His semen into a womb he poured. So what is that? That is outright rape. God raped her. Now, when we come to the Bible, in Leviticus, to our own God, he has laws. That's why it is very clear we never copied from these people. No, our Bible is from God, the Almighty God. He poured the Spirit onto the people, the prophets, to write this Bible, and even talk with some like Moses openly, and even help them to write like the laws, the commandments. So in Leviticus 18:6-17, we read, none of you is to approach anyone. This is Yah's command. None of you is to approach anyone who is a close relative in order to have sexual relations. I am Adonai. I say so. You are not to have sexual relationships with your father, and you are not to have sexual relations with your mother. You are not to have sexual relations with your father's wife. You are not to have sexual relations with your sister, the daughter of your father, or the daughter of your mother. You see? Your father could be having, their half sisters and all such things. As long as there is something in that relations, you are not supposed to. Or if your father marries a woman, and woman has a daughter or out of wedlock, she comes with a daughter from elsewhere, you are not supposed to marry that daughter, because you'll be calling your father her father. See? Whether born at home or elsewhere, he is very clear. You are not to have sexual relations with your son's daughter or with your daughter's daughter. Yeah, is very clear about this. Do not have sexual relations with the daughter of your father's wife. So you can see, the wife, a woman comes in married by your father, she has a daughter from, she comes with a daughter from another man. Yah says you can't marry her. Do not have sexual relations with your father's sister. That is your aunt, isn't it? Your mother's sister, you can't. And what is happening today anyway on the papers? What do you read? All these things are happening. You can't have sexual relations with your aunt, with your son's wife, with your brother's wife. You cannot. But these days, what's happening? Brothers go to another brother to sneak around and have sexual intercourse with the other's wife. That is wrong. Yes, it is wrong. You cannot have sexual relationship with both a woman and a daughter. And men keep delighting in these things. Hey, I slept also with a daughter. All of them come. Sometimes the mother even knows. And she doesn't take care. Or with either her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter. You cannot. In other words, that lineage now is cut. You can't have sexual relationship with those ones. The Lord has said, and it is clear. He has said, and it is finished. What he has said is, that's how it stands. There is no other way you can say it, and there is no other time he is going to change, and it remains that way. So whatever you are doing these days, you people know what he has said. You can't do it. You are simply violating God's law, and you will be punished for that. You will not have life with Yah in his kingdom. With Yeshua in his kingdom, you will not have life. But these guys, the Nibiru gods, they were doing these things. And they are gods. And so for the crime this God committed, because God committed a crime, he was sentenced to die alone in place of no return. But he sued. She became pregnant. Apparently it looks as if she was at the earliest stage when she was starting ovulation. The first ovulation she's ever had, because you remember what she was saying, that everything is so small for her. It looks as if it is the most, at the earliest time it is like consigned dead in a way. In this guy is lucky. This Kenyani was very lucky that the whole intercourse, the whole rape coincided with the time when she was having her first periods of first ovulation. So she became pregnant, and well, she forgave him on the condition that he would marry her, to which then God was released. You know, she had to undergo the process of, okay, now you say you are pregnant and you want the husband. Will you accept him as the husband? He said yes. Do you forgive them? Then yes, she said yes, I forgive him. And then that's when he was released from a place of no return. Now, remember, this place, it was in a mountainous region within the earth. It was within the earth, but in mountainous, that was a place of no return. This God was hidden somewhere on this earth, in a valley somewhere within, deep in the caves, you know, the mountains, the ranges, and It was a place of no return. He couldn't trace his way back to Eridu or to the civilization. Huh? So he was sent there. On this earth, this God was put on this earth somehow place of he was shipped with this sky ship. And so they went to put him in detention there. To die there because of rape. He was taken there with a sky chamber, you know. On his place there by the pilot. He was told there, you can die there. Eh? Oh. So why do we know it is here? We know it because he was taken there by a sky chamber. Sky chamber was just within the earth. It was not by rocket, because rocket have to shoot you to somewhere very far like a Mars. And it was not a celestial chariot, because celestial chariot was basically why Mars, so that it could ship things to Nibiru. So it was here on the earth, in a mountainous region. And it was a place of this God could not return there. He would have died there. Had he not been forgiven, he would have died there. So you see, these gods could not save themselves if sent to some places on earth. Couldn't. Yet the earthlings, then, just as some today, then, you know, these earth people, then, just as some today accepted them as gods and worshipped them. You worship them as gods, these people who couldn't be taken to a place on this earth. And you would definitely die there if he was not saved, because after he was forgiven, they had to go for him. So, you see, let's see in Jeremiah, in Bible, Jeremiah 23 verse 23 to 24 says, can a man hide himself in secret places so that I, God, himself, so they cannot see him? Says himself. So he's wondering, where, if it were me, if you really, who should you worship really? Is this person who is hiding somewhere on the planet, the same earth, and he cannot trace his way back? But is it me whom you cannot even hide from? Which secret places can you hide where I cannot see you? He says the Lord. Do I not fill the heaven and earth? That's what he says. He is asking people, do I not fill heaven and earth? You can't hide anywhere. Yeah? But this guy is a God, and people are worshipping him. You see, we are more or less like demented. We are told very well, we are given brains to compare and contrast and make the concrete good decision. But we can't. We are following the wrong thing. We make the wrong judgments. And God who is dying is the one we are worshipping, not the one who lives forever. What is this about humankind? Satan has really misled humankind so badly. Anyway, after marriage, you know, soon it became Ninleu. When she married the rapist in God, she became Ninleu, or a lady of command. A lady of command. She gave birth to a boy called Nana. And Nana meaning the bright one. From rape, so the bright one. And Nana was first Anunnaki born on earth. So Nana was the first Anunnaki born on earth. So a boy from rape was the first one to be born on this earth. Otherwise, after marriage, Sud also then gave, legally now, she gave Enlil, the rapist in God, another son called Ishkul. Ishkul now, this one was born within Wendro. But meanwhile, Iya or Enki, you know, she has a, you know, he has a wife in Nibiru. He has a wife and a son in Nibiru, you know that. And on earth, he was involved with the incest, adultery, and fornication. This God called Enki, king of the earth, god of the earth. Yeah. In the tablets we read, Enki wanted a son from Ninma, his sister. That was not incest. He was telling her, "Give me a son, give me a son, he cried out. She took the semen into her womb. The semen of Enki her impregnated. One day in Nibiru was a month of earth. She gave birth to a daughter called Nirna. So he wanted a son. But he couldn't bring a son. And he is God. I thought if you are God, you should say, you can simply put in a son in there. Impregnate the over with a sperm and control the XY chromosome so that Y dominates, and then you get a son. But he can. He is telling her, must give me a son. He is telling the woman, give me a son, give me a son. And then whatever comes out is a female, and he is so enraged. He doesn't even want to see the baby. And even she was so annoyed because he couldn't even look at that baby. So she asked him, can you kiss the baby? He says, no, I just want a son. It's a son I want. So as you can see now, it takes a month for Nibiru to rotate on its own axis. You've seen what she has said. You see what she said, that to her, one day in Nibiru was a month on earth. So it takes a month for Nibiru to rotate on its own axis. And the earth rotates on its own axis, it takes only 24 hours. So 24 hours is one solar day to us. Nibiru's solar day is 30 days of the earth. That's why, to them, when they are on earth, they were spinning. It was like spinning. They were feeling the spinning, and they felt dizzy at the earth's rotation. So as the earth spins, you can imagine that. From that rotation of 30 days for one revolution, it means something going very slowly. You can't even notice it. It's so slow, But then they come to something which is 24 hours. So they were basically like looking at it, spinning. Within 24 hours, so they were feeling dizzy and vomiting. Remember when at the way we started, they were complaining about the Earth's rotation. They were feeling dizzy. That's the reason. That's the reason. That's why they were feeling dizzy all the time and complaining. But what of Tuya himself? And there is in Peter 3 verse 8, it says, my beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. So to God. So, in other words, one solar day of God is 1,000 years. Can you imagine 1,000 years? Before it sets, the sun sets, or rather the day. Imagine the sun is, the earth is going, the universe is going round. It has got a sun somewhere, because God is above all the universes. And so before it rotates, it's 1,000 years. And to him, that is one day. And he says one day. 1,000 years is over. So how many generations have passed within that one? They can't even remember anything. The generations, they have gone. Oh, so many generations have gone. They are already dead. So, so you can see now the contrast. The earth, the Nibiru, and in God's universe. So how can we compare with God? Can't you see there is a real creator, the master creator? These Nibiru people are just inventors, destroyers, ignorant, rapists. Call it anything. They are just criminals. And we worship them. They were worshipped then, and even today you can go to the internet, they are worshipped. Gods, they will come back to us. They will do yes. They might come, yes, some may come, and when they come, and they'll come with more miracles, scientific miracles. And then you'll be saying, I am the one who was supposed to come. I am the one whom you are calling Yahshua, or some saying Jesus. And so when I come, I'm going to harmonize the world. And the world is going to be peaceful. Yeah? I don't want to see fight, otherwise I'm going to destroy you. You can see I can do miracles, so he does his scientific feats, and you see fire from heaven. Yeah, and then you think that that's what the Christ you are waiting for. Is it about Israel or make peace between Israel and the Arabs? And he does so. He tells Arabs, what do you want? There's no problem. I study. There's no animosity. What do you miss? What do you lack? I am the one. I'm the Mahdi. I am the Mahdi. What else? I'm doing all the miracles. What do you want me to do? I can bring rain to this desert. So he brings rain to the desert, and it starts browsing. Oh, yeah, Allah. And it is a person from Nibiru. It is these guys from Nibiru. They are the ones who have come back. And now they are coming back to show you that their God density has been from the beginning. They want to be worshipped as they used to be worshipped before by stupid human beings. So he comes back as mad. Or as the messenger. The one who was to come the last days. The one whom all kings will give power to rule the world. From Nibiru. Because he's human like anybody else. He's just a creation like anything. You also know that this flesh is toxic. You eat this flesh, you die. But you'll be highly technologically advanced. So high. You'll be thinking it is the like spirit working, the command. And he's just giving a command somewhere. And in these miracles, fire comes, rain comes. He wants to create famine, he creates famine. He stops the weather from raining and such. And it's all about technology and know-how. That's all what you're doing. And communication with these people up there. And then we start saying, oh, this is what we are waiting for. Israel will say, oh, this is what was to fight for Israel to create peace. Yeah. And then that is when you realize. Because eventually he's going to say, I am God. No one is God. It's me. You've seen, I've sinned with you. There's no peace. There is peace. Plenty of peace which has never been. There are no enemies anywhere. And whatever you want I can give you. There is no hunger anywhere. So why are you waiting for any other God? And then the real God will come. Yeah, sure, he's going to come. With his angels and Michael. Hey! To claim what is his. What is his, that is what he's going to claim. And he will take it. And that's why even the elect will be deceived by this guy from Nibiru. You come and, if the elect, you will be deceived. It's not, I don't think it is somebody who comes from Israel or America who is so knowledgeable that is going to, to be given all the powers, and the people will believe that is the one, that is the savior, that is the Mahdi, or a certain Arab person there who decides that this is the Mahdi. No, people we are seeing every day here, nobody like that. It has to be somebody special, somebody who is technologically advanced, somebody who has got scientific miracles can do, which no one else can do here. And then that is when we shall, even the elect won't be deceived. Can't you see it is open? It's not open. Yeah, this guy will just come again now, very high advanced. Because he was here, I don't know, 4,000 years ago. Then he comes, he was so much highly advanced with skyrockets and all that. And this time we are having them. And then you come with so much advancement. And then we shall believe him. Even the elect will be deceived. See how easy we can be deceived? Be careful. Know now. And as you wait, have the knowledge. Research more. Again, Enki was not satisfied. He wanted a son from his sister. So he went in her again and got another daughter. And they want even to see that daughter. The baby, they want to see the baby. So he wanted to go again on the third time, begging her sister, Nima, you must give me a son, you must give me a son. So he really went on her for the third time, went for her on the third time. At this time, he was stopped in his tracks. Nima uttered a curse which made this god paranoid and afraid, resulting in psychosomatic illness. Probably she tethered to hell with that body of yours. Keep off from my vagina. See? Probably that is what she said. And he was frozen on his way to her. Seeing God, the Enki is unable to determine the sex of the child at will, he can't, and he's a god. So he goes looking for a son. He gets a daughter. He doesn't know how to get a boy, and he's a god. He goes again, "Who give me a son? Give me a son." He's even telling the woman, "Give me a son." See if she's the determining factor. Give me a son again. He gets a daughter. He doesn't even. This god does not even want to see the daughter. And then the woman gets satisfied. Get out my vagina. I don't want you to approach me anymore. So he feels the curse. So what of our God? Can he determine who you are even before you are even conceived? He can know who you are. He can know the next person, a boy or a girl. He can know that. And yeah, can determine what he wants. If he wants a boy, you get a boy. You just command a boy. Not that he's going to complete himself, but he knows everything. If, in other words, we're trying to contrast these Nibiru gods and our true God, the Almighty. So the Bible says, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. So he tells his prophet like that. I don't remember which prophet. Is it I don't remember the prophet whom he told that. But before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. See? Before even the person was conceived, he knew him. He did not go to tell any person, please give me a son, please give me a son, please give me a prophet, please, to tell a woman, please give me a prophet, please give me a prophet. No. He is the one who forms, he is the one who decides, he is the one who is the deciding factor. But these gods of Nibiru, they are fake. They are fake gods. Even when they come in future to try to convince people that they are gods, no, forget about it. Tell them no. Go back to where you come from. We know our God. Yeah, the Almighty God, who created you even, and you don't honor him. Yeah? So, well, this God is begging a woman to give him the son. He says, I knew you even before you formed in the womb. In other words, even before conception, I knew you. Yeah? So, know the right God. Know the right one. So, Enki now, because of the curse, he goes ahead to suffer psychosomatic illness. The tablet reads this way. Thereupon Ninma against Enki a cousin tethered. She tethered the curse. Get to China anymore. To hell with you. To hell with your whatever testicles. Why? She was so annoyed because he was not satisfied with the children, the sex of the children he was getting from her. So he was basically like punishing her. Like she was nothing. She was using her. So because of that theta, what happened to him? He started having psychosomatic illness and has been casted by Nima. So whatever food he ate, it was poison in his innards, in his inside. He was vomiting. It was terrible. It was, his stomach could not tolerate any food. His jaws, the jaws were hurting. His teeth were hurting. His tooth hurt. His tooth, it hurt. Since she threatened that cause, his ribs were hurting. His ribs, they were hurting. So they summoned Injolin Seke. They summoned Injolin Seke. A team of elders called Injolin Seke, headed by Isimut. So Isimut, the Anunnaki, was summoned to Nima so that she can release this man from her curse. They came, the Injolin Seke came to rescue this man, to redeem this man from the curse of Nima. They were pleading with the Nima. You uttered some curse so that you will not approach your vagina anymore. You want him to distance him. You said you want him to distance himself from your vulva completely. And then to distance himself from Nima's vulva, Enki, by raised arm, he saw. One by one, she decided to treat his ailments. One by one, she treated his ailments. And from her curse, Enki was freed. Enki God was freed from her curse. Smarty handed to swear, you will never get near her vulva again, ever. Huh? Was that not great? So, the so-called learned gods do not even know how to determine the sex of the fetus, and get frustrated as if it's the fault of the woman. Some gods. Yet, they are said to have created us. Created us. Eh? They even don't know that incest can extinguish genetic vitality and cause cessation of a lineage. It can extinguish your lineage completely. These gods suffer psychosomatic illnesses. Like somebody utters a curse and you start having stomach problems, the tooth aches, the chest is aching, the jaws are aching, and then you have to call the Injolin Seke elders to plead with her so that she can, well, she can remove the curse, and then she treats you. And then you are healed from the curse. After swearing, you never get near her again, ever. Anyway, yeah, our God is beyond the curse. So you can't curse, yeah. They can't affect him, whatever you say. In Lamentations, Bible Lamentations, 3 verse 7, it says, who can speak a thing that have I come to put? Who can speak a thing and have it come to pass unless the Lord has commanded it? In other words, you can't even curse me unless God, that curse cannot affect me unless God says, okay, fine. If God blesses somebody, you can't come and override that blessing with a curse. That one is out. In other words, the curse, whoever you curse, is ineffective unless God allows it to. So, it's beyond the curse. But here, these gods, they are being cursed by somebody tethering. So what sort of gods are these? Are they what they worship really? Are they what they worship? Or in a respect Now these gods, their workmates, or their subjects, or rather, despite the rest, they were resting on the seventh day. They had a lecture, also to relax them during work and after work. But in despite all that, the gods were so exhausted that the conflicts and the rebellion was the order of the day. So the work became intolerable. And so they all got exhausted, and basically there were conflicts and rebellion became the order of the day. So the tablet says, on earth the Anunnaki tired of work and the sustenance, they were complaining. So they were complaining about the toiling of the work, and they were not being sustained with the food properly. The elixir is the one, only small rations were given. Very little was there to give them. It was never enough because it was in high demand. The work was so much that it needed a motivator. A motivator was that elixir to relax them, to calm them down. Yeah? It was like cannabis, as we said, and to give them a drive forward to work. So because of the demand, the amounts went low, the supply became low. High demand, low supply. It was never enough. So they were only given now small rations. In the Edin, the Anunnaki toiled. Edin, the area where Paris was built by Enlil. The Anunnaki toiled in the Abzu, where or Enki was mining gold. The work was more back-breaking. The gods were the work was breaking the backs of gods. By teams were Anunnaki sent back to Nibiru. When they get exhausted, they are taken back to Nibiru. Another team, new teams come. The Gigi Anunnakis in Lamu, Mars, dwelling were the loudest complaining, because when from Lamu to Earth, in descent, they wanted to rest on Earth. They wanted a place where they could rest. So they were demanding that. So it was complaints all over. But unlike Nibiru gods, there has no sustenance problems. The God of our God, Yahuwah, has no sustenance problems with his people. Look at Exodus 16, 11 to 15. Yah spoke to Moses, saying, I have heard the murmuring of the children of Israel. They were murmuring that we don't have meat, we don't have bread, it's finished. Now what are we going to do? What are we going to eat? Yah spoke to Moses and said, I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel. Speak to them, saying, at evening you shall eat meat, and in the morning you shall be filled with bread. He told Moses to tell them that. Our ancestors, remember? Our ancestors. Because I am one of them. I am an Israelite. And you shall know that I am Yahuwah, your God. In the evening, quail came up and covering the camp. And in the morning, the dew lay around the camp. When the dew that lay had gone or lifted off, behold, on the surface of the wilderness was a small round thing. The children of Israel said, what is it? Moses said to them, it is the bread which Yahuwah has given you to eat. They called it manna. See, does Yahuwah have any sustenance problems like the Nibiru gods? No. The quails came, the bread came, which they were calling manna. Out of nowhere, all things appeared. But the Nibiru people, they were rationing food, they were rationing elixir, they were rationing everything. What sort of gods are these? Why should you worship? That's what of the son of Yahushua. What was he doing with the food shortages? What did, is an example about him? Let's read Matthew 14, 16 to 21. Jesus sent to them, to his disciples. You give people something to eat. They are hungry. They have come from far. Give them something to eat. But the disciples told him, we only have here 5 loaves and the 2 fish. 5 loaves and the 2 fish. Those are 7 things. Then, Yeshua, one, well, the Christendom was named Jesus. Well, I don't believe it's the same one, but anyway, they have written that because this Jesus is white and the statues of Jesus is white, so he can't be the one, because Yahushua is black and then Jesus they have shown us is white, so that's why I don't believe it's one and the same thing. No. Anyway, Yahushua commanded the multitudes of the people to sit down on the grass, and he took the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, he blessed, and he broke and gave the loaves to the disciples, and the disciples gave to the multitudes. They ate and were filled. All the multitude, everybody. They took up, after everybody had eaten, they took 12 baskets leftovers of the broken pieces. After everybody has eaten and they filled and they were leftovers. They collected 12 baskets. Those who ate were about 5,000 men, besides women and children. So you must expect children must have been more than men, and the women combined. And then we have women who followed their men. So how many people do you think those could be? Around 20,000. Yeah? Let's say men 5,000, children 10,000, those are 15, women 5,000, or let's say 2,000. That means around 17,000. It's a lot of people. They have been fed with the 5 loaves and the 2 fish. So you can see how God can do, and his son, how his son even can do, leave alone the Almighty One, leave alone the God himself of the universe, one created everything. Yeah? What of Anunnaki? They were breaking their backs. They had a few rationing food and the elixirs. Huh? And they are gods. You are worshipping them. These gods, they used the psychedelic elixirs to relax from hard labor. And they be merry and they keep going with their work. But, and then the ration was too small, too little. You have 1 cup now, you have another one in the evening, you have this, you can't have one now, I'm sorry, because if you give you it, you'll finish. Let's preserve one for tomorrow. Those are gods rationing this substance that is making them at least giving some, some peace, some drive to continue breaking their backs. Peacefully, silently, without complaining. It is finished. But let's see if Yeshua, what he did in one instance in his time. John 2 verse 1 to 11. The mother of Yeshua sent to him. They were invited in a wedding. Yeshua and the mother they went to a wedding, all of them. And then it just happened that the people drank all the wine and it finished before people were satisfied. It was not enough. The wine was not enough. The people, I think, were too many, more than expected. So they drank all the wine and the wine was finished. Then the people didn't know what to do. What do we do? What do we do? Can we go and buy? Where can we buy some more? But the mother knew about his son. So he said to Yahushua, they have no wine. And then Joshua was telling him, what do I have to do with this, mom? But the mom ignored him, and he said, the mother sent it to the servants, do whatever he tells you to do. Now, 6 stone jars were standing there for the Jewish rites of purification, each jar holding 90 or 136 liters of wine. In other, the quantity it can hold is 90 to 136 liters. These big jars. Can you imagine how big? Bigger than the tanks. Our tanks are 100 liters. Now these are from 90 to 136, and there were 6 of them. Yahushua sent it to them, fill the jars with water. So they didn't fill all the 6 jars with the water. Then he said, now, you see, he didn't even do anything, just told them, now, as soon as they finished filling the jars to the brim, now draw some out and take to the steward of the feast. So they did so. So the steward of the feast tasted it. He tasted this water that has now become wine, but he didn't know. He didn't know about the miracle. And he said, oh, how happened you have kept the good wine until now? Normally, you give good wine first, so that when people get drunk, you can just give them cheap wine. They will not notice the difference. But how happened now? This is the best wine. You are bringing it now. He didn't know what transpired. He didn't know. But you can see, Yahushua, what he has done, he cannot ration. No time for rationing, because he is a master. He is the creator. He has everything, anywhere, at any one time. And Nibiru gods, they were rationing, and they are gods, and you are worshipping them? Really? Remember, we said that the rebellion and the hate and lack of food, lack of motivator elixirs was the order of the day. And so Enlil, one of the main guns, was even not aware that he was being surrounded by at his home by the striking workers, who would have killed him if they had opportunity, were it not for the watchfulness of the gatekeeper, Enlil's gatekeeper, they would have gotten there inside there and killed him when he was actually sleeping. This gun was sleeping. Can anything happen without the full knowledge of Yah? Can you go and surround God, Yah himself, and say, now we have surrounded you, we are your rivals, we are going to kill you? Yeah, because we are hungry. Some people are in Somalia, they are so hungry, they are dying. Our cattle is dying somewhere in the United States, and we don't know why they are dying. The birds are dropping from the sky in Norway and such things. So we are going to surround you and kill you. Can you do that? But here, you see, they surrounded the guns of Nibiru Hmm? Who were even sleeping. And it was the Angeti keepers who was locking the door. And the minister was alerting the man, wake up, wake up, wake up. The rebels are surrounding your compound. Now in the Bible, Matthew 10:26 to 33. It says, are not 2 sparrows sold for just a penny? 2 for just a penny. 2 sparrows. And not one of them will fall to the ground without your Father's consent. But even the hairs of your head have been counted. What is he implying? Well, he implies your importance. How important it is. It shows that he is aware of everything. If a sparrow falls somewhere, he knows that sparrow has fallen. If a hair plucks off your head, he knows the number of your hair and that one has dropped off. He knows that. So you cannot surround him like the way these guys were being surrounded by big people, giants. And he was asleep, he didn't know what was happening. Now he knows when a hair falls off from your head. See the difference? Please come back to the real God, the Almighty God. Yahuwah, the Almighty One, the true one, and no other. There is no other. This others is undeceived. I don't know why we are so sick we even try to think anything else. He is the only one. He has life. He is everything. He says and it happens. He can't ration anything because he's plenty. His name is plenty. Yeah. He doesn't resuscitate. He commands. Stretch your hand. He commands. Take up your mat and walk. You are healed. Who else are you going for? What else are you going from other people? Is it those people who are giving you money, the rich people, those who have got some, they are driving so fast, those who are putting nice suits, you worship them because they have gone to the skies, or because they are great footballers, you are worshiping them. When there is some leftovers, the food they eat, you go to eat it, you are worshiping them. Stupid. You're just worshiping. What's wrong with you? Trust in Yah, the Almighty, the creator of heaven and earth. One who has everything, who is plenty. And he is massive. He forgives. He restores what is good. But he destroys what is bad. And he will. He does and he will. Always. And he will bring a millennium of peace and tranquility. Yeah? All the time. There will be that. In the hour to come. So, please come back to true worship. Worship the right Yah, the Almighty. Obey His commandments. Because without obeying His commandments, there is no respect. Do you remember Ninurta? When Henry was back there in Nibiru, and Ninma, the sister, the sister was told by the father that is Nima, that she was going to marry here, but instead she and Henry decided to rebel with the father's directive, and they copulated together out of wedlock. So they had a son in Nibiru called Ninurta. Now when Ninurta came on earth, they also made arrangement for Ninuta to come. When Nima came, she and Enlil arranged for Ninuta, their son, to come, because Ninuta is the son who was born after the ignored the directive of their father Anu back there. So Ninuta proposed a city to be built so that the gold will be refined there. We called it a metal city. Gold is refined from iron ore. Instead of going as an ore to Nibiru, they separate and they get the pure gold, which will go now to Nibiru instead of iron ore. And that will be easier. And the workload will be less for these machines and all that. So because we'll be sending pure things in Nibiru instead of ores. So Ninuta proposed a city named Bad Tibira. Bad Tibira is called a metal city. The same is a metal city called Bad Tibira, to be built in a day. And this one was to remove gold from the ores transported from Abzu by sky ships. And then he was made, of course, if his proposal went successful, well, he was the CEO, he was the city commander, of Badi Tibera, or the metal city. So refining gold is then sent to Lamu from there by rocket ships, and from Lamu to Nibiru by celestial chariots. So now you can see now we have reached a stage whereby it's pure gold that goes to Nibiru, refined in gold. And in the map you will find, in the subsequent map coming, you will find Bad Tibira. It is there in the map. You can see now from Eridu, you can go to Uru, you can go to Rasa, you can go to even Uru or Putalu, then Bad Tibira. So it is there in the map, just in this region between Euphrates and Tigris. Yeah? It is there in the map, Badi Tibira, where gold was being refined. Now Enki was a thinker. You know, remember the ear, he was a real thinker. Because he just saw that there was a time that would come when they would not be able to control this multitude, these rebels. Because when they go up back again, they go back, a team goes back to Nibiru, they only send bad messages that you go back there, man, you break your back. That there is no food, there is no this, you can't have sausages there. And so he realized eventually there will be a problem. They will not get what they want really. And they sort of also wanted, like what they were allowing the earth to stay there, and they wanted to establish a real colony on this earth. So he was a thinker, trying to think how to sort out this labor problem, so that at least it will be easier now to sort out. There will be no problem with the rationing food or anything. And so he was thinking hard what to do with these rebellions and all the shortages of food. So he establishes a facility for scientific research and genetic engineering to manipulate the earth's creations. The tablet reads that in the Abzu, the place where gold is mining gold, by the gushing waters, a wondrous study place he elected. He elected a study place. With all manner of tools and equipments, he finished it. He called it the House of Life. And he called his son, Ningizida, to come and work with him there. They had sacred formulas there, which they were trying to use, you know, just to find the secret of life of these creatures. They were manipulating the creatures to find the secret of life and death, and how they shaped the creatures, how long they lived, and if you do this, how long they are going to live, like that. Such genetic manipulation. The mysteries of living and dying of the earth's creatures, they do and love also. They were checking the mysteries of the thing. Why should this die within one day? Why should that one die within 1 week? Why has this one died? Why is this one living long? And that is genetic manipulation, genes testing and all those. So they messed up with a lot of God's creations there. He started doing that. And he had a long motive about that. So with some living creatures, Enki was especially enamored. Which are living creatures are these? Huh? Which enamored this man? Now, the plan of this guy Enki was to create a Lulu, a primitive worker, as a solution to the labor problems. So he started low that way, but in objective, he was enamored by a certain creature. When Enki suggested they create a Lulu, the reaction from his team was, it was impossible. It was impossible even in Nibiru. Such a thing has never happened. To create a primitive worker. Such a thing is impossible. That's how the reaction. So, in tablets it reads, let us create a Lulu, a primitive worker, a hand-shaped work to take over. Let them being the toil of Anunnaki carry on his back. Whatever the Anunnaki is carrying on his back, what they were saying, they are breaking their back. Let's create a worker to toil now by using his back. Not Nibiru people's back anymore. They will not break. The Lulus will break their backs, but not our people. So astounded were the besieged leaders, the people who are listening to his proposal. Speechless indeed they were. They were speechless. What is this man thinking about? Is he going crazy? Whoever of such a thing heard, the taskmasters, hand off! Nima was saying to Enki. Whoever of such a thing heard, whoever ever heard such a thing, the task is at hand of such a thing, creating a Lulu, a primitive worker from nothing. It's at hand of. It's impossible. And Nina, you know, she was the one who was very advanced in biology and the human chemistry or whatever, biochemistry and everything. She was a doctor. And here is the engineer here who is telling him, bioengineer, who is telling him you can do this, you can form a Lulu, primitive worker, you can create one. And Nima is telling him, all being from a seed have descended. One being from another. Over the eons thereof, there is nothing, none from nothing ever came. In other words, a living cell must come from a living cell. A living cell cannot come from nothing. That's what she's telling him. But the Enki's mind was to genetically alter the genetics of the creatures he had seen in Abzu. That was his mind. This is what he says. He says, the being we need is already existing. It already exists. All that we have to do is put on it the mark of our essence. That's what we need to do. Put a mark of our essence on it. The creature is there. We don't have to create it from nothing. It is there. We just have to put a tweak somewhere within its genes, and it starts operating, doing our work. Thereby, a Lulu, a primitive work, shall be created just by putting a little tweak on the genetics. And he says, continues to say, they lived among the tall trees, those creatures which had enamored him. Their front legs as hands they were using. They were using the front legs as hands. In other words, they are standing, when they stand, they are using, they are walking nicely, with their hands up. But when they are walking, now they bend down and they walk with their hands as legs. So to them it is the legs they're using as hands. So they were legs which they were using as hands. In the tall grasses of the steppes, the only creatures were seen. Those you are seeing them. Elect, they seemed to be walking. Now, according to you, this description, what is this description? This is typical of description of chimpanzee or orang-utan. This is equivalent to primate. The equivalent. This description is not only a primate, you know, living today, but not present in Nibiru. They had never seen such a creature. But here, they have these chimpanzees, they are orang-utans, they are what? Oh, these ones basically who are, you know, closer to humans. I've seen a chimpanzee walking, just, but when it's running, it is using the forelegs. In other ones, these hands, they serve as front legs. So that's what this guy is describing, and that's what they manipulated. They were manipulating chimpanzees and such, thinking that they were humans. They are not humans. These chimpanzees, they just want to mess up the genetics of Earth's creatures. That's all what he wanted. Is this not what we are even doing up to today? Are we not doing that today? I guess we are even more advanced, because we can make a duplicate being from a cell of the mother parent. A process called cloning, isn't it? We do cloning. Mother, you get a cell from the mother cell, and then we clone that one, it becomes like the mother. The adult mother. Cloning. We have cloned the sheep. We have cloned the virtual everything. So, what's the difference? We are doing that today. We are doing that to monkeys, chimpanzees, but whatever I do, they cannot become humans. So, are they going to make chimpanzees humans of those days? Or did they make other creatures chimpanzees, so that we think that, we don't know. But so genetic engineering produces a unique set of genes, and these genes can be swapped across species. The genes can be swapped across species. Humans have by now genetically engineered nearly all species known to man. It's just fun now to man to cross genes. Some must be hidden even from the mainstream. There are things we don't know what they have crossed. We don't know what they have crossed. What we know must be a very small fraction of what they have done. Maybe part of the Armageddon will be the time we'll be seeing these genetic creatures they have manipulated. This genetic playing ground, whatever it unveils that time, I think it will be terrible, because it will. What are they doing? Mule, the female horse and a donkey, female horse and a donkey. They are doing that to cause a milk. Zebra and donkey, zindong, zedong. Zebra and donkey, they are meeting them. I mean, they are crossbreeding them. Genetic manipulation between zebra and a donkey, between a bison and a domestic cow to born beefalo. Then the sheep and a goat. Can you imagine that? Sheep and a goat. That is not good. That is not right. This is messing up with God's creations. He wants these things to be different. A sheep must be very different from a goat. Meh! What sort of creature do they make? They make a toast of Botswana. What a toast is that? Something to eat. Then lion and a tiger. Hey, they are messing up. Just like those days of Nibiru, when they were messing up with genetics, with the earth creatures. That's what we are doing today, lion and tiger, to form ligers and tigers. Leopard cat and a domestic cat, they are doing that to form Bengal cat. What was that? The camel and the llama to bring out the karma. First killer whale and a bottlenose dolphin, imagine dolphin and a whale. You know, they are meeting them together. In other words, they are cross-breeding them together. The corn snake and the king snake, what are they going to produce, my dear? Tell me, just tell me. Suppose they are also breeding also anaconda and a crocodile. Tell me the sort of animal they are going to get it from there. Will it not be a terrifying dragon? A crocodile that maybe we say very long like an anaconda, and what sort of creature do these can come from there? Don't think they are not there? You think I'm the first person to think like that? No. They are hidden somewhere. What of an anaconda plus a crocodile plus an eagle? Tell me, do you think I'm the person to think that way? That will be a ferocious flying dragon. A ferocious one. Crocodile plus anaconda plus an eagle. Oh, tell me that. A very ferocious flying dragon. You think these things are not there? They are weapons of war being handed somewhere. So far and be alert, you know. So far and be alert. Note that the Nibirus have confessed strongly now. The medical officer have strongly confessed that living must arise from the living and not inanimate to living. That is clear, she said that. And we shall see how brilliant these people are in their genetic engineering, or will it be our card genetic trials? Will they really know what they are doing in their genetic, or they are just meddling up and it is just a trial and error method they are doing? Let's see the ingenuity they are going to apply so that you can see, have they really created us? Are they really the gods? So that our yeah can say I created you, and then they say I created you, so that you can make a selection who created us. Is there any comparison so far? Have we not so far realized these people are fake, false gods, and the Almighty is the true one? So far, are we not proving that? So in the next tablet, we shall see how they go about with this genetic mess up of human, of Yah's creations.